construction materials, by structural engineering, they also need to visit the site and the construction work to understand the structure. Maybe it's not that hard like the BCE program, but at least as an architect in the future, you need to understand the structure of building and the material. Yeah. So basically, it will be for every module. And we also provide the field trip, not only field trip, but also require the internship for students at the last semester of study.
Yes. I have a question from a student. I think from VGU we receive many similar questions like this one. So the student would like and he wants to study interior design.
Yes.
So do we have interior design majors or interior design selective module in the architecture program?
Yes. As I explained from beginning about the curriculums and the program orientation, it is an interdisciplinary program that we have different modules in which interior design is one of this. We have several design studio projects, and interior one will be a subject in the whole program. And at the 5th semester, students need to make the elective module where they can select either interior design, landscape design, urban planning, and other disciplines. So it will be a very important part in the program.
Yeah, thank you. So you know that so we have the interior design and interior construction in the architecture. So if you prefer interior design, it's a good choice for you to choose architecture programs. So we will move to spare time for our German guest today, Professor Glock. Professor Glock, can you share with all the Vietnamese audience here the civil engineering, the career path of a civil engineering student, and what are the qualifications of unsuccessful civil engineering engineers?
Sure, thank you. That's an interesting question. Since our education is a broad civil engineering education with a focus on structural engineering, there are different paths that a graduate can choose during his career. A very typical entry for a civil engineer is that he starts off with a design firm or a construction company to gain additional experience on the field and in the design. Our experience from Biberach is that the graduates quickly will progress and gain further responsibility, and continuing their path in a design firm, they will become a lead designer responsible for an entire design of the project, or continuing the path in a construction company, they will gain responsibility as a construction manager, a design manager, or as a project manager. It is important to know for the young students, young graduates, we have many changes in career paths. One might start off with a design and then move on in the construction industry as a project manager, or vice versa. Another great opportunity for graduates of the bachelor program in civil engineering is, of course, to continue the academic studies with a master's program. This could be a master program at the VGU, that is a master program in civil engineering, which the VGU is planning to set up in the year 2024, or in sustainable urban development, water management, water reuse, computational engineering, or you could, of course, join a program at the at Biberach University in Germany. You're very welcome to. Our master's programs would be civil engineering as a master's degree, or if you want to go more into the management side of things, project management in construction would be the appropriate master's degree to choose. Or if you want to broaden your experience, broaden your future, also engineering management as a master's degree would be a possibility to continue further studies. Thank you. I would hand back to Vietnam.
Yes, thank you, Professor Glock. So, besides you join the workforce in the civil engineering, you can choose to study further, to study master in the Biberach University in Germany, if you want to choose the academic path. So, how about the architectures? What are the qualifications of unsuccessful architectures?
If you ask me about the qualification for students to be successful in the future, I could say, like, in addition to those design knowledge, science knowledge, students need the soft skill, including those like language, presentation skill, that they can present their concept, their design ideas very well in front of the clients. They need the digital knowledge that we turn into the 4.0 areas, right? And at the same time, because we join the globalization, and also, as you know, Vietnam has joined the ASEAN economic community, where people can move around in ASEAN. Students need international knowledge, right? They need to learn the international standard in design and in working in order to adapt to the international environment of working.
Yes. Yeah. So thank you for your sharing, Dr. Hương. I have one question from the parents for the civil engineering program. He said that because the civil engineering, the domestic civil engineering, he see a lot of domestic companies. So could you introduce some foreign companies that have the civil engineering here in Vietnam?
Yeah, there is a few companies in there. Okay, domestic would be Hoa Binh, but Kutgons is an international company as far as I know. Then what else do we have? Then there POSCO, Shimizu. As I said, there is a lot of South Korean, Chinese I currently do not know, and also Japanese. Shimizu is a Japanese one. Then the German involvement in Vietnam in the construction sector is not a real big construction company, but of course they work as suppliers, as consultants, and so on. Fichtner, Bauer Vietnam, also.
Yeah, thank you. How about architecture company? So Dr. Hương, can you share some international architecture company in Vietnam?
Oh, actually, in the architecture field, we have quite a lot of design company, right? If we can name a few, like Archetype, like DWP, Ong, another DP or CDC companies, many is design company, right? From the Europe as well as from Asia. Yeah. And if we talk about the domestic company, we have quite a lot. Some are purely design company, but some is a design and build company, like the case of Hoa Binh or Kotechcong is a design and build, right?
Yeah. Thank you for your sharing. And many students and parents want to know what kind of scholarship that the provide, that VSU can provide to students in architecture and civil engineering. And is there any chance for students that have a chance to become a chance student to Germany? Yes. So, Dr. Hương, can you share the scholarship for the architecture student?
Thank you. So regarding the scholarship, so as the parents and students may know that the VSU provide a merit scholarship for those students with good GPA, right? In addition to the merit scholarship for students, we have also the DAAD scholarship from Germany for doing the thesis in the partner university in Dessau. The DAAD scholarship will provide a 6-month support for students to do the bachelor thesis there. Right? And of course, not all students can get that scholarship, but they need to make the effort.
Yes, how about the civil engineering program?
Well, Yeah, thank you. Well, this year, for the coming intakes, or all the students who are now considering to study at VGU, for this year we have, for the first year, that would be the foundation year, VGU is offering 100% scholarship to each enrolled student, and if I remember correctly, 50% for each enrolled architecture student. That would be for the first year, meaning no tuition fees.
So this is a very special scholarship.
This is special. That is true. And also for the architecture, the 50% are special. In the next year, in the upcoming year, that's what you said already, we have the VGU Merit Scholarship, so it depends on your performance in the previous year, whether you belong to the 10%, 25%, 30% best, and then you will get 100%, 50%, 30% scholarship. In addition, thanks to Professor Glock, the German university successfully applied already for a different kind of funding from the German Academic Exchange Service. This is a scholarship that the German side pays to students that study in Vietnam. It covers even more than 100% of the scholarship, a little bit more. And this is available then after the first year, which is free for students of intake 21 this year, civil engineers. For up to 4 students, that would be another year. It's called the Surplus Scholarship from the German Academic Exchange Service. In addition to this scholarship from Germany, we have, like the architecture program, foreseen for the final semester, a scholarship also for around 20% of each intake for students to visit 1 semester Germany, which is then fully covered, the costs are fully covered again by the German Academic Exchange Service. And VGU has been all over the years very successful in always attracting these scholarships. They have to apply every year, or at least every second year for these scholarships, but up to now, nearly always got it.
And I believe 6 months in Germany is a big opportunity for students for learning not only in the university but also in life.
Yes.
Definitely, definitely. And knowing my former students from mechanical engineering, from computational engineering that are currently in Germany, under the current situation, I'm feeling so sad for them that they cannot really experience Germany because they are in lockdown and they cannot do much, not go out much, and so that's really a pity. Then we have the scholarships, the students could go to Germany, but they cannot really experience Germany. But that will be much better in the future. And when you start to study with us this September, then it will be no problem when you get a scholarship. And of course, the German universities normally also receive students that try to come to them based on their own funding. Because that's also very often a question from the parents and from the students, whether they can do that.
Yes, and it's very similar for architecture program that the partner university is also welcome those like self-fund students to study in the last semester for doing thesis.
Yes. So there are many attractive scholarships and a big chance to go to Germany to study for architect and civil engineering. So I have a question from the student that he's difficult in choosing between the civil engineering and architect. So is there any chance for him to change the program? For example, he choose to study architecture. After that, he want to study civil engineering. Is there any chance for him to change the program during his study here in VGU?
Yes. So basically, according to the regulation of VGU, as you may know, that the university allow the student to change the program 1 time only during the whole period of study here. But the condition is that the modules of 2 programs need to be matched with each other, meaning we need to consider the module that he study. For example, if he want to study architecture first, and then later on want to shift to civil engineering, then Dr. Joerg need to check his modules, GPA, qualifications, result, whatever, to see if he's able to follow certain module there or not, right? Because there's certain gap in terms of like mathematics, physics, other knowledge between the 2 programs. I believe so, right?
That is true. That is true. The main obstacle is normally that the students that want to change need to have the same admission. So it depends on how they were admitted in there. But the architecture students and the civil engineering students both have to do the same test as our own enrollment test that VGU is going to offer, or they need the same subjects from their high school degree, and therefore this is basically okay. And then again, as I said before, I had a very nice student who changed from architecture to civil engineering, and he said, I don't want only to design it, I really want to build it. And if this is your intention, then it's perfect to change then there. And this is normally not a big problem.
Yes, and normally at the program level, we try to support the student as much as possible to fulfill certain gap in the knowledge between two programs.
Right? Yes, do you have any tips to give the student for them for the better preparation to choose the right and appropriate program for them? Like tips to choose between the architects and civil engineering? Yes.
So shall we, please?
I would say the easiest thing would be that they just arrange an appointment with us, maybe together even, and then we can tell them and explain them much more about the program and not limited to this half hour that we have currently.
Sure. Yes, I think so. That's what we did during the other student fair, that we give the advice for students. Some of the students come to us and talk, and then we need to know his preference, the knowledge or the strength and the weakness of student before we can give the right advice.
Yeah, we can show them around, we can explain much more details about the curriculum, so the contents of the different lectures that they will have. So, and we are here and we are happy. We are happy. If you want to have an appointment with us, just let us know. The colleagues from the marketing will forward your email or your request by telephone, and then we can arrange a meeting and we could talk about that. And as I said before, if you just want to design it, then maybe architecture is better. If you really want to build it and put it into a material reality, then you should go for civil engineering.
Yeah.
Yes. So I have another question. She wants to study civil engineering, but she thinks that the biggest obstacle for studying because she is a girl. So because she is the girl studying civil engineering is quite hard. Is it? And is there any chance for her to study civil engineering?
Well, I would not say that it is hard in there. I guess that my colleague Professor Glock can give enough examples of very successful female civil engineering students. If I look at Vietnamese construction sites, there's a lot of ladies working as workers. And therefore, I think even from the physical work, it is not problematic, but this is not what we are educating here as the engineers. No, if she has an interest, deep interest in the subject, that is the most important thing, and doesn't have big problems with the natural sciences, let me put it like this, it would be working relatively well. Of course, it is a male-dominated working field still, but if you're looking at the big international companies, we just had the request for mechanical engineering where the big companies were asking, can you please increase the number of female students because we have to diversify. Yeah. So they are looking for people, for females, that they can recruit female engineers, and therefore I guess the same is going to happen in the civil engineering sector, and therefore I guess it's very prospective also as a female to study civil engineering. It's general no obstacle that females cannot do that.
Yeah.
Yes. So I would like to invite Professor Glock to share about the female in the civil engineering.
Yes, maybe I'd like to bring in our experience from Biberach. Currently, from our students, we have 25 to 30% of our students are female students in the bachelor and master programs. And I must even say, looking at the GPA, the average GPA, the female students are leading in front of the male students. In the industry, currently, it's a traditional industry. There is still a larger percentage of men outside, but this is changing, and I'm welcoming the female students to help us change this and be part of the industry. It is a very interesting industry, and as mentioned, the designing part, if you're more on the aesthetic side, architecture would be the program to go. If you're more on the scientific side, doing the math of the buildings, ensuring that they are stable and interested in the erection and material side of things, civil engineer is the program for you. But you have the opportunity to ask the two coordinators in a meeting. That's a great opportunity.
Yes, thank you, Professor Glock. So we have many questions, but I think the time for this program is come to the end. So I would like to thank you, the three special guests today. I would like to special thank you, Professor Glock, for being with us today. For more information, please access www.vgu.edu.vn or tuyển-sinh.vgu.edu.vn. Otherwise, please contact via hotline 0988 54 5254. And thank you, and see you again.